Back to work. Sunday, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna get up and put up my basketball shorts and go lift up the doors halfway to the because it's cool tonight. It was cooler tonight, so go to the rec hall and shoot some hoops, listen to some music. Um, uh, if I uh, if I were a hammer, but shit, this is uncomfortable. Yeah, it's physically uncomfortable. Yeah, it's I know how David Rockefeller works. He used genome sequencing and connect people, things and stuff. So, if you think you're physically uncomfortable, try being slowly poisoned and tortured to death by your military and the scientists that are supposed to heal everybody and keep everybody safe. While they sexually abused and compromised your entire family, because when it happens to one person in the family, it affects everybody in the family. You have a guy who becomes self-righteous and believes in his Jesus in his head, and then treats me like I'm a pervert, and everybody thinks he's brave because he is the most disrespectful and rude to me. David Rockefeller will torture that person to death physically worse than he's torturing me, or you guys think. It's not really. It's if you deny the living word and then you disrespect him, you get what you deserve. I know how David Rockefeller and his Chinese counterparts and Japanese counterparts work. It's sick. The three proverbs: the poor plead for mercy, and the rich answer with insults. The wealthy are fools who see their wealth as a high wall of safety. It's wrong to acquit the guilty and deny justice as innocent. It's very important to understand Proverbs that life is eternal and grace is infinite. You should honor and obey the natural laws given to you by the glory of God. And you should share or care given according to need, build to last. Okay. What kind of relationships are we building to last right now? Okay. Now, recovering, yes, I can recover. I get moved to the Gila, and within 2 years, I will recover from all this chemical poisoning, all this pain and the abuse. Okay. But nobody standing up for the living Messiah to live the Lord's Prayer for children. Okay. You can't put that on a computer made by somebody else. Okay. You have to feel that pain. You have to know that pain. And all the, quote, adults that wouldn't stand with him to stop that pain need to feel it. Till he's 104, maybe more. Right. They need to feel his presence. They need to grasp his presence. They need to understand his presence. So the children realize this is what dad should do. This is how dad should be. This is how dad should honor mom. Remember Hugo Tovar with me in Sierra Vista. He said, you wanted to be a teacher and a coach, but you already are. You're the greatest teacher and coach of all time. Raphael. You're the guy from the Bible. Most people would kill Amy. Those guys, if they didn't kill her like Joe on Carmen Jones, they'd leave and they would sue and they'd do all these horrible things. They would have used Susanna Martinez's people to go after her for child support and file for. It's just they'd do everything they could to be bitchy of her. Right? They'd act like Donald Trump, going after his political enemies, and Susanna Martinez. Not Earl. Earl said, all I'm interested in living the Lord's Prayer. I'm not interested in going after Peter Fabre and affecting Barbara and going after Amy for being used by the Temple Set Illuminati and the Pentagon to try to turn me into an abusive, pathetic person, right? We all know that. I won't do it. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. 3 Proverbs. Focus, okay? And then what else Rockefeller got across to me is he said, they'd all take advantage of the Boatright Bedroom. Because they feel they deserve it. women, protecting him sexually because he's the only one who protects women sexually and protects children from being sex property across the border and throughout the world. So most guys would take advantage of the Boatright Bedroom. So that's not true. Is anybody standing up for the Lord's Prayer and accepting you as the Messiah? No. Well then, give him dirty looks and call him a pervert. And our Jesus God from the sky is going to save us from perverts like Earl Parsons. Wow. David Rockefeller has all the video. Patriot Act. You understand? Patriots Act, huh? That's how patriots act? Well, then we don't need any more patriots, do we? We need apostles, right, bitches? We need a man like King David. Seed of Proverbs. We need a man like Solomon to protect our women from Boatright Bedroomers, right? Oh, I totally agree, right? Oh, he's a pervert. I'm a pervert. Okay. You won't stand up for a Lord's Prayer with me to stop children from being raped across the border. You'll have them be turned into porn stars for the liberals instead of death and decay for oil for the conservatives, right? David Rockefeller nailed you all to the fucking wall. And you ain't coming off till you stand up for a living word. Anybody else want to watch me kick liars' asses at the Johnson Park in front of a hate Obama van and don't do a damn thing to help me and then watch me get locked up the next day, taken and harassed by the deputies department? Sit on my hands for 30 minutes with my knees in my chest, treated like I sexually assaulted a girl in a trailer park or took advantage of a young girl's grooming and manipulation because of TV and impulsing and influencers as a PE coach at a high school in town with the best religious community in the whole town. I got treated like that. The man who got up to say, broke 5 federal laws in 2 minutes to protect a woman from becoming sexual property from philanthropists. And everybody acts like it didn't happen. He doesn't exist. I don't intend on going anywhere, and I don't intend on dying in the spirit of a little boy being raised by people like you. I'm not going anywhere. Okay? I will survive, stop and eliminate abuse, and recover. And if Jesus is your God, then maybe you need to come look me in the face and tell me about your God. And I'll look at you and say, I think you would have taken advantage of the Boatright Bedroom just like Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and everybody who's his business partner, don't you? Okay. Tell your God I said, fuck off and die. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you act. And I got the science to prove it. And you don't. So step up to me and tell me that Jesus is your God and he died to pay for our sins. You better live to pay for your own, motherfucker. Because I ain't being murdered by a bunch of perverts that would take advantage of the Boatright Bedroom and not protect my Amy and my Natalie, and then the way it affects my Emily and my Kate. It also affects my Noah and my Crumb and my Patrick. I get disrespected by my own kids because they're afraid to stand up for me because they're afraid of the way people will look at and treat their moms. It's too late for that. All you have is a bunch of perverts that give your mom a better place in society with money and finances and say, oh, her right hand's itching and her left hand ain't itches as much. And me? I don't have any money, so neither palm itches. I just get pissed when they do that to my dad because he gets stressed about money and it causes him distress and emotional stress from abuse from being raised this way for 89 years in this hell of the Antichrist. Do you understand? Okay. I'm going to go shoot me some hoops. I got this. Don't think that you're programming the technology to be just like me, because you can't. Do you understand? How can you put the spirit of King David on a computer to keep your children safe from you? You can't. You have to submit to faith and the glory of God. You have to stop all the means and mechanisms for the Boatright Bedroom and never do it again. Do you understand? Okay. No one should judge King Solomon if they don't have the balls to stop mental and emotional child molesting, raping murderers from keeping them and their money safe with technology, right? No one has the right to judge King David or King Solomon, the protector of women and children from aggressive, violent perverts. Okay. David got up and saved everybody in Israel from being eunuched by a bunch of perverts and raped by a bunch of perverts. No one else did. Why do you think all the women wanted to be with David? And Solomon was his son that continued that faith to save us from going down that rabbit hole again. And everybody tried to betray him, and then eventually everybody did. Right Saul, right Herod, right Netanyahu, right Ayatollah, right Donald Trump, right Barack Obama. Okay, why didn't you stand up for me to protect me and my children from the viewership of people like you in the Situation Rooms? Joe Biden, Jill, why didn't you grab him by the balls and squeeze real hard? Oh, you did? That one of his options of treatment for his prostate cancer? Okay. I love you guys, man. Okay. Oh, you'll take this. You won't write a book about being independent to get more money either. You're cute. But the way you speak and the way you act is so fucking ugly. You make my dick want to shrivel up and crawl in between my ass cheeks and say that's a better option. Okay. Earl, you're mean. I'm sick and tired of you. And this is the way Donald Trump wishes he could talk. And Dan Bongino, and Patel, and Charlie Kirk, and Joe Biden, and Pope Leo, and Barack Obama. They all wish they could talk this way, but they can't because they didn't earn it. All right, peace.